Hello my dear friends and welcome back to a new YouTube tutorial. In today's tutorial I'll be showing you how you can make yourself your very own crossbow. This is consisting using the projectile launcher and the trigger handle and also some Cv1 known as the clamp, my favourite of all tools. So without further ado, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button and smash that notification bell so you never miss out another video without any form of latency. Let's get right into the video. Now, the first thing we do, as we're inside of our maker room, because we'll need to be inside of a maker room. In case you don't know how to make a maker room, the first thing you do is go onto Home, and then you click Create, and then you click Create Room, and click Maker Room, and then you type in the name, hit Create, and you'll be teleported to your new room. Now, I'm already in my maker room, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit Settings, and we're going to scroll down. I'm going to scroll down until we see Allow Creative Tools Beta Content. What this does is this allows us to use circuits that are in beta. We'll need to do this if we want our thing to do damage. So we're going to click this and we're going to turn it on. And now we're going to click Save Room, and now the room will save. And now the room has saved. As you can see, it's on. As far as I'm concerned, I believe this is Rec Room Studio, so we don't need to worry much about this. However, now, if we pull out our maker pen, we pull it up, click Palette, we go onto Circuits, we'll notice we have a few things that say beta on them. These are the things that we just cannot take out of beta, but will one day be released. If we go onto Shapes as well, we'll notice we have a few handful more shapes, which are more simple, sharper. For example, Cube, simple, Wedge, simple. I don't know how to pronounce that, and a few other shapes as well that could come in handy. But we're going to make a crossbow. So what we're first going to do is start off with the base of our crossbow. Simple as, we're going to go into swatches, we're going to scroll down, we're going to do this, and then we're going to go into wood grain. And now we're going to get our shape, and we're going to move it out a bit like that. Scroll you out a bit more like that. Now, making a crossbow, you don't need to worry too much about. Crossbow, you don't need any form of Cv2 whatsoever. But we're going to make a nice looking crossbow, just for the sake of it. I'm going to move you down. And, of course, we're going to move you across until you just fit nice and snug there. And there, that is where the arrow will go. Now, we'll just have an arrow that doesn't do anything. We're not going to make any form of animation for it. We're just going to make it shoot and deal damage. Let's continue making the crossbow, as it should. Yes, that's nice, that's nice. Now, your crossbow can look however you like. I'm just gonna construct mine, because if I'm gonna have to be doing a tutorial, I much prefer to build something than circuit something. Because in all fairness, I'm not very good when it comes to circuits, but I do know how to do some things, but not all. That's being taught by someone else or teaching myself. Circuits are hard, and they do come across very hard. But with enough practice, you will get it sorted. By the way, if you want to know my materials for this, for the metal, I usually use slate as sand. It usually works really well. For using like a polished but not so polished metal. Now, you should have watched my previous video when you learn how to do all the settings that you will need. If not, please click that video. I think, yeah, at the end there will be the previous video, which you can go watch that. Until then, please stay tuned. Now we're going to hit mirror. Move you over here. And that looks very nice. It's very nice indeed. Okay, well our crossbow's looking good. Our crossbow's looking good so far. Apart from that, it just looks like a pickaxe. That's not what we're trying to do though. We're trying to get a crossbow. Now, one thing a bunch of game companies always forget when making their crossbows is to actually make it have the thing where you have to step on it. Because the reloaded crossbow, back in the day, it was not funny. Yes, crossbows are very, very, very powerful weapons, but not very happy to reload. You'd have to be very strong. So, yeah. Apologies for clearing my throat. Let's do this properly then. There we are. But here, keep in mind, if you need any form of help, make sure to DM me your Rec Room name in the comments, and I'll try to reach out to you and assist. Because I have other stuff to do, so I'm not always on Rec Room. There we are. That's where our handle will be, so you hold it right about there. And now we're actually going to add where you hold it. There we are. Now in our next tutorial, I'll be showing you how to build armor, which for most will come across very, very, very good. Okay. Now I'm not liking this crossbow too much, so we're going to smoothen down the handle a bit and see if that fixes anything. Yeah. Yeah, that looks very nice. I think that looks good. For a base anyways, it doesn't necessarily matter too much. Now. Yes, yeah, okay, that's good. Right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some string. And to do string, it's very simple. Create tube settings. Height scale. Let's turn it to 1. And make sure connect new tube is on. Now I'm going to scroll up. Create tool settings and uniform shapes. Make sure that's on. And I nearly marked it up for a second. Good thing I didn't. Now we're going to select the correct form of color. I'm going to go for this snow color. I'm going to connect you. I'm going to slab you here. And then we're simply going to clone you over. There we are. That looks very nice. I think that looks very nice. Now, whether we want to add an arrow or not, that's completely up to you. I'm not going to, because I cannot make an arrow. Now, we have the body of our thing, so now what we want to do is configure, using the configure tool. Open up this environment, turn that to decoration, and then we can just walk straight through it and nothing will collide with it. That's not going to annoy us later. Now, we need to actually make this do damage, so what we're first going to do is do the trickiest part first. And we're going to go onto the projectile launcher. I'm going to slap you right about here. Thank you, my good sir. And we're going to configure, because it's a crossbow. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the dart, but what we're going to use instead is a cork. Now, I'm going to increase the speed a bit. And we're going to keep the spread down to 0. Damage, you can change as much as you like. It doesn't necessarily matter. But what does matter is how you set it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Edit. Okay, so what I'm going to do, simple as, I'm going to search up Event. And we're going to get the event receiver. Now this isn't why we've enabled beta. And now we have the event receiver. We're going to backspace and we're going to search up Combat Ant. Now, we're going to look for the received damage. So the combatant received damage. I'm going to spawn you in there. Now, we're going to hit wire. I'm going to wire up the executes. And now we've wired up the executes. We're going to go into event. And we're going to go on to projectile hit player. Let me find it. Projectile hit player. Projectile hit player. No, there we are. Completely missed it. Projectile hit player. There we are. That's very nice. Now, we are going to simply hit firing player, damage source. Hit player, target. Damage is damage. Ignore shield. True, unless of course you want that off. If not, it's false. Now, no matter how hard we try, this will always do damage. as long as we have this completely set up, the execute to wide up correctly, so hit player to target, firing player to damage source, and the execute to wide up, and of course damage set to damage, then we're all good. Our projectile launcher should initially do damage. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go off this, and we're going to go onto circuit components, and we're going to get ourselves a trigger handle. I'm just going to spawn this right where the handle is, and I'm going to freeze it in place as well. And now I'm going to go onto Cv1 Legacy, get the animation gizmo, put the animation gizmo here. How you angle it is up to you, but I just like to position my stuff correctly and accordingly to make it look nice. Now I'm going to wire this to the head, and now it's frozen. Now it'll never move. Now, animation, I'm going to hit that, and then bosh. That's never moving again. Now, what we will need is to go back onto Cv1 Legacy, scroll down until we find gizmos. I'm going to use the clamp, my all-time favorite chip of all time, because it's just like a clamp. It doesn't like a clamp. Now, we're going to wire the head to what we've created, and the projectile launcher, and the body to the trigger handle. Now, we're going to grab our circuit board for the trigger handle, and move you up here. Primary action is pressed, fire forward. And on pickup, set damage. If we don't wire up on pickup set damage, then it won't do damage. It will only do very little damage. Now, if we pick it up, we have our crossbow. And I think that's quite a good crossbow. If you want to add a reload system, what we're going to do is wire up a gun handle, which I'll show you in another video eventually. Apart from that, that is your crossbow. Nice and done. And I think this is a very nice crossbow indeed. Now, of course, you can rapid fire. So, yeah. Now what you want to do, if you don't want the trigger handle there, which I personally don't want it there, is only visible one, such as visible, and then you have your crossbow. I think that's a very nice crossbow. I like this crossbow. And then yeah, we can go pew 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 as much as we want. It will kill someone eventually. If you want to increase the damage, you just have to increase the numbers on here by clicking configure and changing the value to 100 if you want it to one shot. Now keep in mind, set by default, 100 is the max amount of damage you can do to a player, but you can increase that using a game chip, which I'll show you in another video. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and now you have yourself your very own crossbow. Have fun and beat Chewbacca. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope I very much helped you trying to make your very own projectiles. Keep in mind, you can do this with any form of weapon you like. The main reason why I said crossbow is because we've made a crossbow today. You can make what on earth you like. No one tells you what you to make. So you'll make, then you do what you want. Unless, of course, you co-owner, then follow what the owner says. But, you know. And now we have our very own crossbow. And now we can finally beat Chewbacca